Now, before we go the experiment, which is one of the important experiments in the history of physics, that is Hertz experiment, we will see few things what we have learned in last few lectures. We started our discussion with this nature of electromagnetic radiations. Before that, we have gone for this historical perspective of electromagnetic radiations. So what is the history, how people started from lightning up to the Maxwell's theory of electromagnetic radiations, and in that journey people found not only light is the electromagnetic radiations, but along with that there are several other radiations. Electromagnetic radiations are in practice or in nature existing. So we have seen right from gamma rays to radio waves, different types of waves, their properties, as well we have gone for the different types of sources. In this journey of electromagnetic radiations, history of the electromagnetic radiations, the contribution, as I said, by Maxwell, John Clerk Maxwell, James Clerk Maxwell, this particular contribution was one of the very important, because he showed that all electromagnetic waves are electric and magnetic field, time varying electric and magnetic field. These propagate in a particular direction in which they carry out this energy. So this existence of electromagnetic waves was predicted by his theory, along with this velocity, how much velocity these electromagnetic waves could be. This is given by Maxwell's electromagnetic theory, and somehow this particular theory was to be proved by experiment, supported by experiment, and this type of experiment was provided by Heinrich Hertz, German scientist. 1876 somewhere he proved that yes, such type of electromagnetic radiations are existing, and for that he did a very simple experiment. So in today's discussion we are going to discuss what this experiment is, what was its apparatus, what was expected, and what are the outcome or result of this experiment, and that's how it proved this particular existence of this electromagnetic waves that has been proved by this. Okay, so to write in the beginning we have to go for a very importance. What is importance of this? Importance is very simple. This experiment proved existence of electromagnetic waves, and that is how it supported to the theory, electromagnetic theory put forth by James Clerk Maxwell. So Maxwell's theory was strongly supported. Okay, that is one outcome of this. Maxwell's electromagnetic theory was strongly supported. It was accepted worldwide because of this experiment. So before that, people were very suspicious, scientists were suspicious whether things are true or not, whether these things are exactly like this way or not. But this all suspicions could be removed by this experiment, which is called as Heinrich Hertz experiments. And other important outcome of this experiment, he also proved that no need of material medium for propagation of EM waves. No physical medium is not needed to propagate such type of waves. Okay, now what are the apparatus? We'll just go for this diagram. Apparatus. It's very simple experiment. You'll find you can draw this. These are two bulbs, metal bulbs, polished metal bulbs, and these are connected to two metal plates, one here and second metal plate here. These used copper metal plates are provided. I'll just explain each and everything about this, what these metal plates are. These two metal plates are provided there just to have some capacitor, and this particular is connected, both of these wires are connected to the source, which is called as high voltage source. Okay, draw this diagram along with me. This, now we are not interested what this type of source, but this is AC source, high voltage source is there. Okay, this is, you can write here, high voltage source, AC, alternating current high voltage source is this. Now this is provided to these bulbs, polished bulbs. These are metal plates. These are metal plates, and these are actual bulbs, metal bulbs. This as well as this, these are two. And in between there is one more, another pair of this metal bulb is here, and these are connected by some circular wire loop. Okay, so this is a single wire loop, and this is how when these particular metal blades are there. And now a small electric spark, this spark is generated here. This is electric spark. Now in that case, and this spark is here, which produces electromagnetic waves. These waves are accepted, so this is a transmitter and this is a receiver. Okay, I can call it to be receiver, and this is transmitter. So these electromagnetic waves pass here, and that also produces a small spark here. So this is called as oscillating spark. Oscillating spark, and this is called as induced spark. Induced spark. Okay, so here these lights or spark is generated at this without any connection between this particular apparatus and this loop shown here. Okay, this is what a diagram for this Hertz experiment. You can draw it very easily from the examination point of view. This particular Hertz experiment, its diagram, its construction, its importance, its working, as well as its outcome is very, very important. So in that sense, we must see details of all this. Okay, what are these? So this apparatus consists of, there are 4 parts. So first one is high tension AC coil or the source, AC source. Number 2, polished brass knobs. Polished, S-H-E, polished brass knobs, or you can have copper too. Polished brass knobs or bobs. Polished brass knobs. And then number 3 is metal plates attached to spheres. Metal plates attached to spheres or these knobs. And number 4 is this receiving loop or receiver loop. So these are the parts of these experiments which have been shown by this particular diagram. So as I said, this is one of the very, very important topic from this particular chapter, wherein several questions can be asked in examination. Okay, now as I said, so once again see here, this is a AC voltage source. So AC current passes through, or this gives AC current, and this current is given to these 2 knobs or this particular conductor, wherein these metal plates are working as a capacitor, and this particular capacitor stores certain charges, and this wire's inductance itself is taken to be L, and this produces a spark. So literally, okay, I can show here these 2 knobs. I will draw somewhere here outside of this diagram. This is knob 1 and this is knob 2. So for one cycle, electron jumps from this to this. For the other reverting cycle, this electron jumps from this to this. So whenever this electron jumps from this end to this end, or this knob to this knob, it produces this type of oscillating spark. So oscillating spark, okay, you have seen all these already sparks, just like electricity or electric spark we see. Such type of spark is generated because these 2 knobs are to be kept very close to each other. In between them is air, and these knobs are not said to be connect with each other. They are not supposed to be touching. There should be some gap. In this gap, this type of oscillating spark is generated, and once this oscillating spark is generated, depending upon the frequency of this AC source, the electromagnetic waves of that frequency are emitted, and these waves are now accepted by this particular receiver, and a current is produced in this particular loop as well. And here, there also at the same frequency, there is exchange of electrons in these two knobs also, or bobs as well, and here also a spark is produced. So as long as this is working, spark will be seen here. If this is closed off, then there is no spark in this particular receiver end. किंवा ह्या दुसऱ्या रिसिव्हर वायर मध्ये स्पार्क कधी असेल, जोपर्यंत इकडं स्पार्क चालू आहे तोपर्यंत इकडं स्पार्क नाही. याच्यामध्ये कुठलंही कंडक्शन मीडियम नाही किंवा कोणत्याही प्रकारचे मीडियम नाहीये. सो हाऊ दिस एनर्जी इज ट्रान्सफर्ड फ्रॉम दिस लोकेशन to this location, that is through these electromagnetic waves. So whatever concept given by Maxwell's theory, this concept was proved by this simple experiment that showed that electromagnetic waves are generated. These waves are now seen, and these are now not seen, but these are now transferring their energy to this receiver loop, and same electromagnetic spark is produced in this case, and that is how existence of electromagnetic waves was first time provided by this particular simple experiment. So this is the working. We will write in brief of this working as shown here. Now he showed that the capacitance of this metal plates can be measured, inductance of the wire also can be measured, and therefore frequency of this radiation which is emitted by this type of spark, electric spark, that also can be measured or experimentally can be find out. So all these things can be discussed and the following. Okay, so let's write in brief. Hertz used an high tension AC coil to produce the current provided to the brass metal knobs, which are separated by a very small distance. Okay, so this is what first thing, the working. Okay, we can see here to be working. Now this is first point. Second, the metal plates work as capacitor in this case. Okay, number 3, because of high voltage in the gap between knobs. In our textbook 2 pages are given, but we will cut short. It will make as short as possible this description. Because of high voltage in the gap, the electric spark is generated. Okay, so there is actually movement of electron. Actually this is back and forth. Because of this AC, direction goes on changing. Once it is down to up to down, this type of back and forth. Actual movement of electron from knob 1 to knob 2 produces electric spark, and that generates electromagnetic radiation of a frequency given by Now this frequency is given by nu is equal to 1 upon twice pi. Don't worry from where this particular formula comes, but this is one from the LCR series circuit also we can get same formula. So this oscillating spark is given by its frequency to be nu is equal to 1 upon twice pi root L into C, where L is the inductance of connecting wire. Inductance of connecting wire that can be measured very easily. Then C is the capacitance due to metal plates. Okay, this is how this type of waves are generated with this frequency that is measured by him. And then fourth is due to this oscillating electric spark, EM waves are generated and these waves are received by the single wire loop, circular, of course, single wire circular loop kept at some distance. Kept at some distance. Okay, so when this is kept at certain distance, it receives these electromagnetic waves, and same spark is produced between the metal brass knobs connected to receiver loop. Okay, and see, there is no connection between this particular receiver loop and transmitter loop. So transmitter and receiver, there is no connection, and that is how energy is passing from transmitter to receiver with the help of electromagnetic radiations. This is what the proof. So it has given. So 5. Thus energy in the form of electromagnetic waves passes from transmitter. So this is for the first time he showed this. Transmitter to receiver is shown by this experiment. Sorry. So see this working. Now that is what we have. Okay, I have written it very short. So this is, there is one page, complete one page is there. So this is what an experiment, and this is how the electromagnetic energy goes from transmitter to receiver in the form of electromagnetic waves. So he showed for the first time that such type of transmission is possible, electromagnetic transmission is possible from transmitter to receiver, and this is what the electromagnetic waves. So this is what the first demonstration of such type of electromagnetic waves which were supposed or proposed by this Maxwell's theory. Okay, so thus we are at the conclusion. The same what we have written as an outcome. This experiment proved the existence of electromagnetic waves proposed by Maxwell's electromagnetic theory. This is first. Second, he also showed that the speed of this EM waves, the speed of electromagnetic waves generated in this apparatus is 3 into 10 raised to 10 centimeters per second. That is exactly equal to velocity of light. Velocity of light. This is the important conclusion. Number 3, he further, okay, there is some modifications were done by in this experiment. So actually this is the primary experiment where he showed existence of electromagnetic waves. Later on, this experiment was done in vacuum and all other cases. Then he proved that there is no material medium is required for this type of transmission from transmitter to receiver. He also showed with some other modification, he measured the velocity of this type of electromagnetic waves, and this is found to be exactly same to the velocity of light, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second, or 3 into 10 raised to 10 centimeters per second, or 3 lakh kilometers per second. So this calculation showed this electromagnetic theory is found to be correct. And then one more conclusion we can show, that all these electromagnetic waves, all these EM waves show properties of, now this is reflection, then refraction, interference, then diffraction and polarization. Okay, so all these properties, reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarizations, similar to optical or visible radiation, optical radiations, or that is light, what we call as light, optical light. So same type of radiations showed. So all these radiations showed this type of particular things. Okay, and later on, fourth conclusion can be shown here. This Hertz showed existence of this radio waves and this microwave radiations, or microwave electromagnetic radiation. So these are the 5 important conclusions one should go when we go for discussion of this type of experiment. So this is what the theory. You might be knowing, or you might have heard something about this. This around 1895. Okay, 1895. There was one Indian scientist, which is, his name is Jagdish Chandra Bose. Jagdish Chandra Bose. He also produced electromagnetic waves ranging from EM waves ranging from 5 millimeters to 25 millimeters with his apparatus. Okay, so this was again an experiment which was equally important with the experiments of Hertz experiment. So he, Jagdish Chandra Bose, also produced in his laboratory waves of electromagnetic waves of wavelength 5 millimeters to 25 millimeters, but unfortunately his work remained unrecognized because he didn't publish this. He kept all the things in laboratory. Before that, Heinrich Hertz could publish everything, and he took patents of all that, and entire credit of this electromagnetic waves production went to him. And Jagdish Chandra Bose unfortunately his work remained unrecognized. And with this particular, all these experiments and all this, in 1896, Marconi, an Italian scientist, physicist, used these waves to build first radio. So these are 2 important facts one should remember here. So this theory of Hertz theory and all these things where you and Jagdish Chandra Bose work, etc., that has been used by Marconi to build first radio. So actually that was a wall type of radio. Radio is not the radio which we see today, but he showed that information can be sent from one location to another location with the help of radio waves. So radio waves were known, radio waves were being used, and that's why that device is called as radio. आज जे आपण ज्याला रेडिओ म्हणतो तो रेडिओ खरं तर हा रेडिओ वेव्ज वापरतो त्याच्या ट्रान्समिशनसाठी किंवा इन्फॉर्मेशन ट्रान्सफर करण्यासाठी, म्हणून त्याला आपण रेडिओ म्हणतो. सो दॅट वर्ड इज बिफोर 100 or 150 इयर्स रेडिओ वर्ड वॉज नॉट देअर. हा शब्द नव्हता किंवा हे डिव्हाइस पण नव्हतं. ज्यावेळेस त्यांनी हे डिव्हाइस शोधलं किंवा अशा प्रकारचे डिव्हाइस दाखवून दिले की दॅट एक सच टाइप ऑफ डिव्हाइस एक्झिस्टिंग विच इज युझिंग रेडिओ वेव्स. ओके, म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये टेलिग्राफ किंवा टेलिफोन किंवा रेडिओ वेव्स या प्रकारचे कन्सेप्ट वापरले गेले. दॅट्स वाय दिस डिव्हाइस इज कॉल्ड एज रेडिओ. So this is what the contribution from Henry Hertz, contribution from Jagdish Chandra Bose, contribution from Marconi, and that made understanding of these things. So actually contribution from Maxwell is maximum. He gave entire theory, and thereby understanding of electromagnetic radiations as a wave was one of the very fixed one. Then we can come across, there is another branch of physics that is called as optics. Okay, so optics is the study of light and several phenomena. Okay, several phenomena. Which are these phenomena? You might have seen mirrors, lenses, then prism, grating, diffraction grating, etc., and lot many other devices, polarizer, etc. Polarizer, and the properties as we have seen earlier. This reflection, refraction, diffraction, interference, polarizations, etc., etc. All these things gave rise to this electromagnetic theory. Okay, so this electromagnetic theory is one of the very profound theory of the physics. Profound and well accepted theory in physics. So scientists at that time, they thought that now there is end of physics. आता याच्या पुढे काही शोधायची गरज नाही असं त्यावेळेच्या काही लोकांना वाटायचं की आता आपल्याला सगळं माहित झालं की इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक रेडिएशन्स कसे असतात, ते कसे वागतात, त्यांचे काय उपयोग असतात, ते कशा प्रकारे त्यांची निर्मिती होते, त्यांचे परिणाम काय असतात, त्याच्यापासून काय काय डिव्हाइसेस तयार करतात, हे सगळं आपल्याला कळालं. आता आपल्याला दुसरं काही शोधायची गरज नाही असं वाटत असतानाच, ओके, we'll go for the next article. Just give next here. Planck's hypothesis. Planck's hypothesis of photons. Your next title, next article. This is Planck's hypothesis of photons. Now, what is this hypothesis? Before that, as I said, जोपर्यंत इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक थिअरी त्याचं सगळं माहीत झालं, सगळे एक्सपेरिमेंट केले गेले, डिव्हाइसेस शोधले, सगळं झालं, बट स्टील देर वेर सर्टन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स लाईक ब्लॅक बॉडी रेडिएशन. Actually, we are not going to describe what this is here. This is one experiment. Second experiment. So this is photoelectric effect. Okay, and there is one more that is called as Compton effect, but we won't go into details on that. Then this. So इथपर्यंत जे physics होतं before Planck's, this was called as classical physics. So this electromagnetic theory is one of the most important outcome of this classical physics. And remember, later on around 1900 or 1895 up to 1900, this was one period wherein these two experiments came in light. Came in light in the sense people started understanding the things about this. So this black body radiations and photoelectric effect. So black body radiations is, for example, if this is a body having some small gap there, and inside that if some radiation is thrown out inside this, now this radiation gets reflected back and forth like this, and we have to measure its properties, temperature and all other things. So this is called as black body radiation. Black body radiations. You can in 12th standard you might have discussed much about this. We won't go for that. Second is that it is found that in case of some metal plate, if this is a metal plate, for example alkali metal, where has a one electron in the outermost orbit, when certain photons, okay, this is now photons, not radiations, I'm sorry, radiations. light. Okay, basically ultraviolet radiation. Ultraviolet radiations falls on this. Now this gives rise to, this particular surface gives rise to certain electrons. So electrons are emitted. So this is called as photons incident. Electrons are emitted, and therefore it is called as photoelectric effect. So these were the two experiments which was a great puzzle at that time, because electromagnetic theory is completely unsuccessful. Okay, so this classical or electromagnetic theory was completely failure. Failure to explain these effects. How, that is what we are going to discuss. म्हणजे काय झालं ते आपण थोडंसं बघणार नाहीये, बट याच्याबद्दल मी बोलू शकेल थोडंसं. According to electromagnetic theory, when this metal plate is illuminated by this electromagnetic radiations for few hours, few days, then one electron should come out of that. कारण एक इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहेर पडायला जेवढी एनर्जी लागेल तेवढी एनर्जी इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक रेडिएशन्सला या मेटल प्लेटला द्यायला काही दिवस लागतील आणि मग इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहेर येईल. दिस इज व्हॉट द प्रेडिक्शन ऑफ दिस क्लासिकल थिअरी or electromagnetic theory. But in actual experiment, within fraction of second, when this ultraviolet radiation falls on this metal plate, within fraction of this second, this electron comes out of this. So this is called as photoelectric current and all that. You might have seen this effect earlier. So why this so quick? Why it's so quick? These particular things happen. This could not be explained by the classical theory or this electromagnetic theory. And then people like Planck started thinking something very revolutionary about this. Even though we accept this electromagnetic nature, okay, wave nature, electromagnetic waves, wave nature. Now Planck thought this is light exists in the electromagnetic wave nature, also it exists in the particle nature. Actually the concept of photon, okay, so this photon as a particle was given by Einstein. So Einstein is the, त्याला आपण जनक म्हणतो, फोटॉन ह्या शब्दाचा जनक हा आइन्स्टाइन होता. So Einstein said that yes, according to this classical theory, electromagnetic waves are there, wave nature is there, electromagnetic radiations are waves, etc. is true. But in some experiment, these electromagnetic radiations work or behaves like a particle, and he called these particles to be photon. So like electromagnetic waves, the energy is carried by the electromagnetic waves in the form of waves. Sometimes in some experiment, these electromagnetic radiations behaves like a particle, and he called them to be photon, assuming these as particles. Okay, these are particles like photons. Then he could very successfully explain why within fraction of second this electron comes out of this particular metal surface, or in the photoelectric effect is possible. At the same time, using this concept that is called as quantization of electromagnetic radiations. This concept was given by Max Planck in 1900. Okay, so this concept of quantization, so radiations are quantized in the form of photons, or they are bundles of energy like particles. म्हणजे आता आपल्याकडे जी लाईट दिसतोय आपल्याला, हा लाईट तुम्ही इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक वेव्स आहेच, कारण कसं आहे तुम्हाला रिफ्रॅक्शन, रिफ्लॅक्शन वगैरे ह्या सगळ्या ज्या प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत, इंटरफिअरन्स, ह्या सगळ्या इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक किंवा वेव्हच्या प्रॉपर्टीज आहेत. दॅट इज ट्रू. But in some experiment, these radiations or these waves do not behave like waves, but they behave like particle. So quantization of electromagnetic radiations, this concept was given by Max Planck around 1900. This particular concept was further used by Einstein and he gave name to these particular bundles of particles or bundles of energy, that is photons. He used this concept to understand this particular photoelectric effect, and very successfully he gave this idea of particle nature of electromagnetic radiations, that is called as photon. So this Planck's hypothesis of photon and Einstein's contribution, that led to a one revolutionary concept in physics, that is electromagnetic radiations exist in nature in the waves form, as well as it exists in the nature in the form of particles, and later on Einstein gave name to these particles as photons. So remember this mathematical things about this. I think we should see something later on. We'll go for these derivations and small these things associated with that, but I think we should understand that this particle nature of electromagnetic radiation is one of the very revolutionary concept. So the physics before 1900, that is what I said, 1900 before and after. Okay, so this single discovery, this is called as classical physics. More about this we'll discuss in the next lecture. This is the boundary, and here this is called as modern physics. So 1900 is just the boundary between these two, because this concept of quantization of electromagnetic radiation, or the concept of photons or the bundles of energy in the waves or the electromagnetic radiations, this was given by Planck. This was used by other scientists to describe such several types of other experiments too. हे दोनच नाही, आणखी असे बरेच एक्सपेरिमेंट्स आहेत की जे आपल्याला इलेक्ट्रोमॅग्नेटिक रेडिएशन्स ह्या वेव्स नसून पार्टिकल आहेत असं अश्यूम करून त्याचं तुम्हाला रिझल्ट काढता आले किंवा प्रूव्ह करता आले. सो द फिजिक्स बिफोर 1900 इज कॉल्ड एज क्लासिकल फिजिक्स और ट्रेडिशनल फिजिक्स, ओल्ड फिजिक्स, and the physics before after 1900 when this particular discovery was came, that is called as modern physics. So we will find that this is equally well proved and this is also equally well and proved. Therefore wave nature and particle nature, okay, of EM radiations, okay, later it was accepted by this entire scientific community. So wave nature and particle nature, so this is said that wave particle duality, DUALITY. So at the same time radiations exist in the wave nature as well as it is existing in the particle nature. So sometimes electromagnetic radiations behave like particle, sometimes they behave like wave. So this wave particle duality theory was put forth by this particular scientist around 1900, and it was one of the revolutionary concept in the physics around 1900, which changed everything in the sense whatever things we were discussing about physics or the entire universe, that was a different thing, that was a different हे म्हणतो की दृष्टी वेगळी होती. So classical physics approach was totally different regarding this universe, and the modern physics approach is totally different regarding this universe. So in that sense this entire chapter is very important for us to understand what is the difference between classical physics and the modern physics. Modern physics says radiations are particles, classical physics says radiations are the electromagnetic waves. So waves and particles, this duality is one of the very great physical concept at that time, which was accepted by entire community later on, and then this entire new physics developed, like electronics, quantum mechanics, other branches of physics, etc. were developed after this modern physics came in picture. So here today we'll stop. In the next lecture we'll go for more, we'll discuss more about this, and then we'll go for actual applications of different types of electromagnetic waves. There are many number of applications. It may require 2 or more lectures in the next week to complete this chapter 2. So we are going to finish this chapter on in the next week, as and when we will meet for this next lecture. Okay, so thank you for all. Now you can join to the next lecture. That's all.